Tension is in the air. The WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca plays host to our Repechage race here for the Nations Cup semi-final event tonight in Monaco. Danny Solis, the American driver on home turf, lines up on pole position in the Subaru WRX. Alongside him, Adam Sassuillo in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo, doing it for Great Britain. Row 2, Salvatore Maraclino, our hot pick for this race. Alongside Salvatore is Manuel Rodriguez, the Spaniard in the Honda NSX. Third row of the grid, Tatsuya Sugawara from Japan in the Focus Group B machine. Alongside Tatsuya, it is Matthew Simmons, the Australian. Former GT Academy winner, of course. Valerio Gallo is in P7 in the Peugeot RCZ. Alongside Valerio, it's Rick Cavalem from the Netherlands in P8. Next row of the grid has Adam Wilk lining up in 9th position in the Hyundai Genesis Group B machine. And alongside Adam, the Audi Quattro has made an appearance at the expense of Fabian Portilla in P10. Benjamin Barda is in 11th position from Hungary. And alongside him on the final row of the grid, keep an eye out for this man, the flying Spaniard, the speedy Spaniard, whatever you want to call him, he lines up in P12. Coque Lopez at the rear of the field.
Yeah, all for him to do in P12, of course. And for this man, I think the first time leading at the start of a race. The Repechage, of course, here at Monte Carlo. We have the Group B cars, as you know, so reinforced suspension, rally cars modified for driving on dirt, funny that, for driving on road, and higher ride height. I mean, these cars roll a lot, even on the sport hard compound of tyres. And here we are then, start the Repechage.
What happens down into that second corner? The first corner is the left kink, so it's not really going to be a prime overtaking opportunity, but drivers might use it to set themselves up for a move down at T2. Danny Solis leads the field over the timing line as the Repechage race here in Monte Carlo gets underway. All the drivers ducking and darting into the slipstream as they head over the brow of the hill, down in towards turn 2 we go for the first time of asking. Solis already on the defensive. Look on the outside there is Sugawara and Rodriguez on the inside of Maraclino, trying to find his way through side by side with Sassuillo, trying to get the better of Danny Solis, and he leads here at the Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Through into the right hand and we go. Solis on the inside, fighting it back against Adam Sassuillo. Side by side they come, but Danny Solis does hold on ahead of Sassuillo, Maraclino and Sugawara in 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, great start there from Adam Sassuillo, but not quite able to overcome Danny Solis for the position. Maraclino there, still holding off to third. Manuel Rodriguez behind him. Sugawara tried to look round the outside at T1, or I should say T2, sorry, but didn't quite. I think he forgot he was in a Group B car because there's no downforce there. The car just understeers off, and he lost a bit of time there as we get chirps from the turbos as we come up the hill towards the corkscrew for the first time. The first time you've seen it, I guess, on a broadcast in a GT Sports stream. So here we are, and Danny Solis has the pleasure of leading through. Down you come there, very difficult to get through. There's contact in the background. I think that was Simmons who got sideways there, coming into the corkscrew, but everyone seems to be through in one piece apart from Coque Lopez.
Valerio Gallo's had a shocker of a start. He's been tumbling down the order and he's been given a half-second penalty for exceeding track limits early doors here then. Meanwhile, Danny Solis holding on as they come into the final corner. The one thing to mention about this circuit here, Jimmy, especially if drivers aren't so familiar with it, there's very, very few straights, so the slipstream isn't going to be quite as pronounced as it would be. Subsequently, overtaking opportunities can be relatively limited in terms of finding your way through with the slipstream.
That's a straight, and it's not straight.
Exactly.
So there you go. You see Rodriguez in the background really throwing the car into T1, trying to get the car slowed down, though. These things, they have so much power to think, it must turn well as well, but no, it's a rally car. It's not really designed for this. It's really more designed to slide through dirt and gravel, and Sassuillo is really giving Danny Solis a hard time, full of the American drivers' mirrors, and you have to wonder, do they want to fight too hard? Same situation as before. These three going through the final, do they want to score between themselves? Who knows? But Adam Wilk has been given a penalty, and Sassuillo dives up the inside completely, as I say. Is it worth doing? He goes, yeah, it is, I think, and goes up into first position. Danny Solis, though, is on the inside for the kink. Will he lift out of it? Sassuillo on the outside. Danny Solis goes back into the lead there. These guys swapping positions means that Rodriguez is coming back into the fray. On board now with Solis.
You see that chop from Solis there out of turn 7. He is really having to defend as they come over the brow into the corkscrew through the left-hander, dropping 6 stories down. I tell you what, that corner is not done justice until you're able to walk it in real life, because It is just unbelievable. All the while they're squabbling, though, it's allowing Maraclino and also Rodriguez to come back into play. Maraclino having to defend against Rodriguez and also trying to attack against Asuelo. Solis out wide. Here is what happened with Wilk and Valerio Gallo. This is the penalty that Wilk was given. Too late on the brakes, into the side of Matt Simmons. That is all she wrote for them. A big shame for Matt Simmons and a deserving penalty here for Adam Wilk. Meanwhile, out in front, look at the battle going on as Benjamin Barder's been given a 5-second penalty. Over the hill we go through T1, down into the hairpin of T2. Is Rodriguez going to have a look? Is Asuelo going to have a dive? They're going to try and go 4 wide down into the first corner. Asuelo on the outside. Maraclino makes a mess of the braking. Rodriguez on the inside of him, and the Spaniard is now through into P2. Maraclino into 3rd place, and Asuelo down into 4th in the space of the corner.
Again, Asuelo, one of his drivers, tends to find himself in the gravel trap a lot, but not really for his own fault, and that was almost the same. But again, I'd be very surprised if the stewards don't award someone there, because that was a bump and run, and we do not encourage that in these live events. Here we're now on board with Asuelo demoted to 4th place, and at this rate, if the race ended, he would be going home, end of his competition. However, 4 guys pretty much in a shot of winning this right now, and Maraclino is not done. He's looking up the inside of Rodriguez right now, forces his way through on the inside. Is Asuelo going to try and follow? He's got the run though coming up to the corkscrew.
There's no room, that's the problem.
That's it, yeah, sorry, Rodriguez is just sitting in the middle of the track there, and Asuelo is just forced to get in line.
Yeah, coming down through the corkscrew into Rangers, you might be able to try and set something up, but only if you've had your Weetabix for breakfast, because that is a very ballsy place to try and find your way past. There is Tatsuya Sugawara in the background of your shot. Now here's what happened with Barder. He was given a 5-second penalty. This is going to be absolute carnage, isn't it? Hard on the brakes. Matt Simmons, what bad luck he is having. He's just an absolute magnet this race, isn't he?
Ben, mate, it's the one in the middle, all right? My word. Anyway, more action going on as we expected to, and Asuelo is coming back. Although saying that, he's now under threat from Sugawara. He's going backwards right now due to the incident earlier on. He needs to try and get past Rodriguez as soon as possible and get back into that safe zone. Rodriguez, unsurprisingly, goes defensive coming into T1. Sugawara there looking to try and get by as well. A little bit of a biff there on the back of the... oh, wow! And Rodriguez gets a 2-second penalty. The penalty zone is just coming up as well. Maraclino, I think, tried to have a stab there at Solis and slowed them both down. So it's all going crazy here. And Gallo with a penalty as well. This is the Repechage, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're enjoying it.
Yeah, Manuel Rodriguez needs that like a 3rd armpit at the moment. Coming up the hill we go into the left-hander. Asuelo goes through, as does Sugawara and Lopez. So big drop through the field there. But Coque Lopez has made his way up from P12 into P5. This is brilliant stuff from Coque Lopez. Quietly made his ascension through the field as it all kicked off in front of him, and now he is in great contention to try and challenge and potentially get into the world final. Here comes Sugawara, who's wide. Here comes Lopez trying to invent something up as they come through the rise into the corkscrew. Lopez has got the inside line. Surely they're not going to go side by side through there. They don't, and Lopez gets the position into the corkscrew. That is brilliant stuff from Coque.
This could be the comeback of the series here. P12 to P4, one more place for Coque Lopez, and he's got a lot of time to do it. We're on board now with Coque Lopez in the Ford Focus Group B car. You can see Adam Asuelo in the Lancer in front there. Can he defend from Coque Lopez? We know how fast Lopez is when he has the bit between his teeth, and he definitely has it right now. You see just changing some settings in the wheel there. That's going to be torque split coming down towards the first braking zone here. Look at the concentration there in the Spaniard's eyes, late on the brakes, trying to just close the gap to Adam Asuelo. And Asuelo, I think, starting to fall back from the top 2, so maybe easy pickings here for Coque.
On board with the Spaniard we go out of turn 2 into the right-hander of turn number 3, and it's such a lovely circuit, this WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Coming towards T4, you can see there in the forefront of his shot, Maraclino putting the pressure onto Danny Solis, who's been doing a really good job actually of defending that position, holding on to the race lead and proving why he does now deserve a place in the World Final for the Nations Cup.
Again, I can't speak enough good things about Danny Solis. When we first met him back at Vegas last year, he almost didn't compete because he thought he was not confident making a transition from the gamepad to the wheel. Now look at him, leading the Repechage at one of the most prestigious sim racing championships in the world, and just about having to defend from Maraclino as well coming into the corkscrew. These guys don't want to squabble too much. They've got a good thing going right now. They've got a small gap over P3. They're both safe going through to the final. But of course, that's going to fall on deaf ears because they're both drivers and they both want to win. So
there's still plenty of laps left here for these guys to race one another. The thing is, as you said, Jimmy, they don't want to lose too much time and allow the duo of Sassuolo and Lopez to find their way through.
Well, what it is Maragino thinks I can get away quicker than Solis here if I get in front of him. What Solis thinks is I can get away quicker than Maragino if I stay in the front here. So,
oh, Solis has got a penalty, Jimmy. He's
oh,
exceeded travel limits there, and that's a half-second penalty that he is going to serve. So Danny Solis is potentially going to be losing the race lead to Salvatore Maraclino here. Into T2 we go. They're ready to come into that penalty zone out of T3 and through into T4. Now it is going to get very interesting indeed, and surely this is where Solis's lead, his race, could potentially come undone, because it drops him right into the clutches of Sassuolo and Lopez here too.
Yeah, this might not be just losing the lead, this might be losing a spot in the final here as Maragino gets it all kinds of sideways there. I do say that a lot, don't I? Coming over the slow-down line now, there it is, 0.5-second penalty. Solis goes defensive instantly, loses the lead. We saw that's going to happen. No, he doesn't. My word, he holds it on the inside line, forces Maragino out to the curb there. I did not expect him to save that, and I can hear his teammates there. Big cheer with the save from the penalty. Rodriguez in 5th position.
3-second penalty. Yep, 3-second penalty there for Manuel Rodriguez, colliding with another car. We didn't see it on screen at the time, I don't think, but that does mean that he is now down in P5. Oh, here's the incident here with Sugawara, I believe. No, this is sorry, there's another incident, but that is what he's been given a penalty for. Here is Rodriguez.
Oh, you know what? Oh, wow, Sassuolo. No, that was the move earlier on. I'm not quite sure we're coming back to that now. But it was a move with Sugawara, Maragino and Sassuolo are now side by side. The thing is, where Daniel Solis slowed down, he's then forced them all back again together in that Constantina, and Coque Lopez is now only 0.3 of a second from going through to the world final. On board now with Danny Solis looking back there from the Subaru Impreza, hard braking down the T1. The nose dips as the front end loads up. The front tyres absolutely screaming for any sort of relief through there, but they won't get it, trust me. And Coque Lopez is trying to make the best of this. This man started P12, had a great drive through the wheel, but has hit a bit of a roadblock now of the top 3. Can he move forward one more place?
He's got a little bit of time to try and do that as well. 2.5 laps now remaining. Meanwhile, for his fellow countryman of Manuel Rodriguez, he's got that 3-second penalty to serve, and he's going to drop right into the lower half of the top 10. So it's going to be, sadly, I think, unless anything kicks off massively in front of him, goodbye for Manuel Rodriguez. And here's the incident into the back of Sugawara at the corkscrew. The Japanese driver going off the circuit. It could have been a lot worse there for Sugawara, but regardless, that was a very, very foolish move there from Rodriguez, just making a complete Horlicks of his braking zone.
It's a proper pump that is, wasn't it? He really took him off. Oh, Sassuolo wide, and Coque Lopez takes the place. Coque Lopez goes from 12th place up to 3rd, and right now he is going through to the World Finals, and Adam Sassuolo isn't. Bear in mind, these guys are teammates outside of here. They both drive for the same esports racing team, so no love lost, obviously. And Gallo looks up the inside too. It goes from bad to worse for Sassuolo. He has to try and defend there from the Italian driver. Goes off road, just about keeps it 4th position. But my word, and in the background, that Sugawara picks up a penalty. So right now, the top 3 starting to put away.
Oh, Sassuolo's been spooked here, hasn't he? And it's allowed Gallo to just fall into a great place there. Sugawara's been given a half-second penalty for exceeding track limits. Over the brow through turn 1 we go. Hard on the brakes and into T2. Sassuolo trying to defend now against Valerio Gallo. And here is what happened with Adam Sassuolo then. So coming up the hill through T7, he's going to brake here. He's going to run it a bit wide, I think. Clips the curb. Yep, runs off onto the gravel. That allows Coque Lopez now to go through and get that automatic qualifying spot for the Grand Final. And it's allowed Sassuolo to now come under pressure from Valerio Gallo and potentially the drivers behind, if not Sugawara, because he's got that half-second penalty to serve, which he will serve now.
What a shame there for Adam Sassuolo. Gallo there is not done. Sugawara looks up the inside, just about keeps Rodriguez at bay, who's sideways in the background. The great thing about these Group B cars, she can chuck them around a little bit. Quite spectacular to watch. Maybe not the fastest way around the corner, but Adam Sassuolo proving to be the cork in the bottle as Coque Lopez has pulled away by about a second or so since the overtake. And Sassuolo is now having to deal with Gallo. And the thing is, Gallo wants by. I think he knows he has the pace to catch these guys, but he's running out of time, so he's just trying it everywhere, every possible opportunity, trying to get the car up the inside. But at the moment, it's still Danny Solis leading. We're on board now with Valerio Gallo. Again, this great new onboard camera. I can't praise the guys that put it enough for that. And we're coming down to the hairpin for the second to last time.
On board we are then with the Italian. A little bit of contact, I think, maybe with Adam Siswillo just in the front there of your shot. It's all kicking off in the front of your shot as well as we come over the timing line to start this final lap here at the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. It's getting very interesting between these boys. Danny Solis has just been able to bridge enough of a gap to Maraclino in P2 to be in good contention to potentially take a race win on home soil at this Laguna Seca circuit.
Yep, here we are, Gallo in the moment. He's fifth position. He's got 2 cars to get by if he wants to catch this man, Coque Lopez, who currently has the last position through to the World Final. Danny Solis leads, Maraclino second, Coque Lopez third. They've got a bit of a buffer back to 4th place, and Gallo does get by Siswillo. Finally, he's through, but he's got a second to try and make up in this last part of the lap. I don't think he's have enough time, Tom.
No, I think you're absolutely right there, Jimmy. So Coque Lopez now, he's just trying to drive that line very nicely. Adam Siswillo and Valerio Gallo under investigation for colliding with another car. We didn't see what happened. Maybe it was that punt potentially at the final corner between Siswillo and Gallo. There was no love lost between them. There was a position lost for Siswillo, who's now down into P5 then. Hard on the brakes we go into T8, and Lopez doing a really good job, but he doesn't need to risk it all here at this stage. He's done a great job to make up 9 positions in this repechage, and now he is in contention to make it through to the grand final. Valerio Gallo's got a 1 second penalty. It's null and void at this point because it's not going to be the top 3 positions that these guys need to make it through to the grand final for the Nations Cup.
No, it's Danny Solis, of course, who come round the last corner. What a race it's been for the American driver. He went from tears at the last race, and he'll take the win here in the repechage, goes straight through the final, as does Maraclino, and Coque Lopez from 12th on the grid comes up to take 3rd position and goes through to the world final. What a drive. Look what it means to Danny Solis there. His teammates coming up, giving him a big hug. That's what we like to see.